To better understand the essential methodological differences between the world of the natural sciences and that of the social sciences, let's outline these differences by contrasting the two worlds. Point number 1. The natural sciences study relatively simple phenomena, while the sciences of human action study relatively complex, or if you will, enormously complex phenomena. I repeat, the first point that distinguishes a natural scientist, a physicist, chemist, biologist or doctor, from an economist is that the physicist, chemist, biologist or doctor studies relatively simple phenomena, while we social scientists study enormously complex phenomena. Oh, come on. What is Professor Huerta de Soto saying? Everybody knows physicists study the most complicated stuff. Don't they study black holes, quarks? To me, that seems a lot more complicated than studying society. I mean, in the end, society? Anybody can talk about that. Politicians like Zapatero come and tell us what needs to be done. Raise wages, lower taxes. And the governor of the Bank of Spain says we need to increase the money supply. Anybody can talk about society, even a nobody, but you've got to study a lot to be a physicist. Despite appearances, the truth is quite the other way round. In fact, the phenomena of the social sciences are so complex that no one understands them, and therefore even the most ignorant people venture their opinion. Nobody dares offer an opinion on, say, nuclear fission without being an expert in atomic physics. Oh man, I better watch my step. I know nothing about this. Or on the body's reaction to chemotherapy. No, without having studied this, I'd better keep quiet. But everyone sounds off on what should be done regarding wages, the right to hire and fire, aid to the developing world, etc., when social phenomena are actually much more complex than those of the world of physics, or astronomy, or chemistry, or medicine. Precisely because they are more complex, we understand only a tiny fraction of them, and that is why the vast majority of people venture their opinion, for they are not even aware of what they don't know. However, the phenomena of the world of economics are far more complex than those of the world of physics. In economics, the concepts and categories are infinitely more complicated. Just think, there are 7 billion human beings, and they are all interacting with each other creatively. They are generating new knowledge that did not exist before, whereas no atom, no dwarf star, no supernova is creating, discovering or composing symphonies, nor writing a new television script, nor even possibly devising an operating system like Windows 95, etc. I repeat, according to Hayek, by far the most complex order in the universe is the spontaneous market order or process. However, and I'll say it again, the great paradox lies in the fact that because human beings understand very little about the market process, they boldly voice their opinions and pontificate without knowing anything. Imagine the damage they could do that way. They could even destroy civilization. Let's move on to point number 2 of contrast. In the natural sciences, things, res in Latin, are the object of study.
Cosas, como por ejemplo, ¿qué? ¿Qué cosas?
Things. But what things, for example? A rock? A plant? A gallbladder?
Una vesícula biliar. Cosas.
Things.
En cambio, vamos a ver punto número 2 a la derecha.
Now, point number 2 from the other perspective. In the social sciences, things are not the object of research or study. In the social sciences, ideas, and here write ideas in capital letters and underline it, are the object of study. The ideas human beings have about their ends and means.
Sobre sus fines y sus medios.
This is the fundamental difference between the world of the natural sciences and the world of the social sciences. In the natural sciences, we are always performing lab experiments, watching and analyzing the reactions of things external to us. In the social sciences, what we research are ideas that other people hold about what they do, that is, about their ends and their means. In his book, The Counter-Revolution of Science, Hayek offers the following example. He tells us that a cosmetic is not a cosmetic due to its chemical content, in other words, what's in the little jar from a chemical standpoint, but due to a belief certain human beings, men and women, hold that if they apply that particular cream every night, they'll wake up more attractive the next morning. Such a belief, held by one person, is sufficient to turn the cream into a cosmetic. In economics, it is not the chemical content of something that assigns it to the conceptual category of cosmetic. Instead, it is the ideas others have about that chemical content, the belief that it will enable them to achieve a certain end. The example I offer every year, I did it the other day in Poland and it caused quite an uproar, illustrates this perfectly. When I rip up the bill and we all feel our hearts sink, it is not the physical and chemical content of the bill, the cellulose and ink, that makes us feel that way. We feel that way because every one of us sees that bill as a means to achieve things of value. And we need the bill because it would enable one person to have lunch, another to get home, and another to make it to the end of the month, etc. And when I rip it up, that is precisely what I want to illustrate, that our hearts have sunk because of the ideas we have about the ends we could each satisfy with 10 euros. We say to ourselves, "What is the professor doing? He's destroying something I need." Nevertheless, I am achieving something very important, and that is to emphasize that you are giving economic status to the bill, not because of its content of cellulose and ink, but because of your ideas, which are always spiritual, about the ends you could satisfy with that bill. Therefore, economics deals with the ideas other human beings have about what they do, their ends and their means, while the natural sciences deal with external things from the outside world.
Del mundo exterior.